Trustees' comments. Just so not to confuse you, I'm just going in order the way you are on my screen. Mark?
I will stick with the agenda. Thank you.
Okay. Andy?
I'd like to call an executive session for contract issues.
Okay.
Other than that, agenda items only.
Okay, that'll be item F because I got another one to add for item E when it's my turn. So, okay. Who's next? Megan?
Just the agenda.
Okay. Ruth Seco?
Agenda, thank you.
Bruce Stebbins?
I'll stick to the agenda this evening.
Okay. Mike Shepard?
Agenda is good. Thank you.
Okay. Mayor's comments. We got some good news from the county. People have been inquiring about, wanting to be able to do some activities, and I generally just say, talk to the chief because he's our safety officer and he knows what probably can go and what can't. But Mike Samurai called the other day about wanting to have one of the Willow runs. It's generally a 5K. They used to run it from W.T. Brews, across the bridges, down to Community Park and back. They've modified so they're going to start at Community Park and it won't go out on the street at all. And Mike reviewed it and saw no problems, I guess. I forwarded it on to Isabel Harris at Ryan McMahon's office. She said it looked good, but she wanted to run it by a few other people. I talked to her today and she said, looks like a good plan. If he's somebody you think will follow through on a plan that he's put forward, then we don't see any problems with it. We got to start letting people do a little something. They have been having a few runs. They have people come in shifts. I think they run maybe no more than 50 people. You wear your mask up until the time the race starts, and when you come back, you get your drink and like a nutrition type thing to replace your calories, and then you leave. You don't hang around, and then another 50 people come and run. Whether they're going to get 100 people, I don't know. But the county had said, let them do it. So I think that's kind of good news for people that are worried about not being able to do anything. I did ask the county about trick-or-treating just to, sort of make it easier for us to decide. The county has no restrictions on trick-or-treating other than the normal social, let's don't have 75 people in a group walking down the street together. And if you don't feel comfortable with people coming to your house, just don't turn your light on. So for those out in the community who are wondering about trick-or-treating, there you go. The window painting is on again still this year, being run by the Town of Lysander Parks and Rec. Wednesday is the deadline to register to get a window. Different businesses have signed up to have their windows painted. If you want to paint one, you have to go through Town of Lysander. And again, this is something that's been run by the chief. They're talking, again, social distancing, and I don't think they'll have people doing two windows right next to each other. They're spreading people out. So that should be all right. I did talk to Cheryl in the courts the other day to see how things have been going. She said it's been running, considering everything's been pretty smooth. They have a limited number of people that are coming in basically by appointment. We have hired a screener to make sure that they get in okay, that they're compliant, that they don't have a fever, and so on. We have a police officer there to make sure that they comply with what the screener says. According to Cheryl, things have gone good. They're still not taking people in to discuss evictions and that type of stuff, because I think the word from on high from the governor is, let's don't be evicting people during the middle of this. Let's try to get through till a more normal time before you have to do that to people. Just so people know, the counties and the city both are having financial issues. Our budget at this point is not in bad shape for this year. The big concern is looking at next year and wondering if the county will have the money that they normally give us, if the state will have the money that they normally give us, And so we're going to have to be looking ahead and be pretty conservative until we know a little more about what's going on. I don't think if there's anything else I had. No, I did want to give a little bit of a hats off to Chuck and to Louise up at the highway and with our water department. It's been a pretty seamless move since Steve's been gone. Chuck has talked to me a couple times about things that are getting done. People have probably seen the guys out doing some hydrant flushing. And if you get a little crud in your water, just let the water run. It'll go away. You know, generally you're going to get bubbles and stuff like that, right, Chuck? So,
Yep.
So that's a process we try to do so that our hydrants are ready to go if we need them for real, and get the sediment and stuff out. Excuse me. So I didn't want to steal any of Chuck's thunder because he's got stuff that they've been doing, but I'm very pleased to know that I can talk to Chuck, I can talk to Louise, and they have a pretty good handle what's going on with Public Works. And our committee met with Chuck and Greg today. Everybody's kind of working together, and until we find a replacement for Steve, I think I'm not in panic mode. I'm feeling very comfortable that they're going to get the job done. We'll move on to department heads. We'll start with our attorney, Bob.
Just one thing, I did have a very good meeting this morning with the board of Canton Woods, and we went over with them some the agreements that the board approved at our last meeting. There had been some changes suggested by the town of Van Buren, which we put in. So I at some point, I think it would be appropriate to have a motion to allow the mayor to sign the revised agreements.
I'll make item E on the agenda. Okay. Anything else, Bob?
Nope, that's it. Otherwise, I'll stick with the agenda.
Okay. Code officer, Greg.
Okay, I guess I should report that the codes office, we're up in permits by 30 of the same time last year. So the same time last year we had 90 permits, and this year we have 120. And so that's almost a third of the number of permits that were up. People are doing a lot of work on their homes, a lot of decks, fencing. We've got several remodels underway. A lot of pools went in this year. See a lot of activity. If you go to the lumber store, you can see that there's not much on the shelf there. And lumber prices have gone through the roof, and people are still doing work. So that's a good sign. We're continuing working on the Main Street grant. We've got 2 completed projects. The Sports Bowl has completed their facade, and Atlantic Seafood has completed their facade and roof line. Right now, there's work being conducted at 12 Oswego Street, painting, windows, lighting, and we're looking forward to getting plans for 2 more of the properties, hopefully this next week, so that we can get more projects going. And I think that's pretty much all to report right now.
That's a lot. Been busy. That's good to hear.
Been a busy summer.
Yeah, and fall.
Yes.
All right, we'll move on to the village clerk. Mo?
Just a reminder that we are still collecting village taxes through October 31st, and after that they would be turned over to the county. But I believe we only maybe have approximately 80 taxes still outstanding, which is better than other years.
Good.
Otherwise, I'll stick to the agenda.
All right, very good. Treasurer, Anna?
Everyone should have received, or all the trustees and the mayor should have received their July financials. August was almost ready, but not quite. And all department heads will have theirs in their mailbox on Monday morning.
Very good.
And that's it.
Very good, Anna. Thank you.
Yeah.
Move to the senior center. Ruth?
I do want to thank Mr. Baldwin for attending the meeting this morning. It was a great help and clarified things and was able to get things moving forward. So thank you, Mr. Baldwin, for that. Also want to thank the community. They've had good response for the Walk for the Woods, even though it's virtual and a little different than usual. We have strong sponsorship and lots of folks are walking, independently wherever it's convenient for them and still contributing to the senior center. So thanks for that. A few things coming up. The mayor's hosting Down Memory Lane on October 5th, which is Monday at 4 o'clock. We have the information if you want to zoom into that, so give us a call and we'll get that to you. Also, we're adding Wednesdays to the Peace Lunch program beginning next week. Just make a reservation. So now the lunch will be happening Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Outdoor concert, one more scheduled for October 8th at 3 o'clock. Wear a mask, bring a chair, and maybe you're going to need a jacket, not sure. And the Food Sense program is also up and running. People missed that during the middle of the COVID time. So we have that up and running. So call about that. And also another flu clinic, a drive-up flu clinic. Stay in your car. The pharmacist will come to you. Just bring your insurance cards. We did one already that was very successful. I think people really appreciate it. So that is October 21st, 9:30 to 10:30. At the senior center. And I think that's it unless anybody has any questions.
Where do we stand on the floor at the community center, at the center? Has that been?
So the floor is not finished. The grinding to level it, that has been completed. DPW has done a lot of work on the area that's going to receive the folding wall. The folding wall is there. It's probably, I'm guessing 75% done installation wise. So the floor, my understanding was that it was to be delivered to the flooring company on Tuesday, but I have not heard anything from them or about an installation date.
Very good. Okay. All righty. Good. Thanks, Ruth.
Yeah.
Public Works. Chuck, you're up.
On the water side, the annual water quality report was sent out. That was done last week. We've had 3 water breaks last week. One of them was a major break. It was on Route 48. It was our trunk line. The boys got that shut down within 20 minutes. We had quite a bit of help from the highway to fix that one. We were within, I think 2 feet from a high pressure gas main that caused us some issues. But I think it started, we got after it right around 11 o'clock and everybody clocked out at 3. So the hole was backfilled and they did a great job. Both departments worked on that and did a great job, got that buttoned up. We're currently, as the mayor said, we're flushing hydrants. We're doing it 11 o'clock at night. We're doing it 11 to 6 in the morning. So you might have some sediment, some brown water in the morning. Just let it set or let it run. And usually when it settles, it'll settle out. But we're currently on the south side of the river. We're trying to get that done now. And they're down around Tappan Street, Tappan near Downer. Then we'll be going out Canton. And I kind of wanted to finish that up tonight, but we'll see how they go. If not, it'll be the first part of the week. We've got some signs we tried this week, and they seem to work very well. We put different signs out in the areas that were flushing hydrants, and we've moved them at night, but it seemed we've only had a couple 3 phone calls on that. The highway's been doing a lot of the trees are just overgrown, and we even have some trouble on that. Brush pickup starts Monday morning. The leaves are starting, so that'll be crazy here pretty soon. We did finally, after a little better than a month and a half, able to get the new truck on the road for brush pickup. So we get that out, and that's going well. We're currently, sounds a little crazy, but the highway's currently full of plow trucks inside trying to get them serviced, get the salter serviced, get them on the truck. one of the trucks we didn't know needed a couple new tires on it. Those aren't cheap tires, but we got that taken care of. And we'll be ordering salt here real soon. Other than that, unless there's any questions, we're good to go.
Any questions for Chuck? All right, move on to police chief. Mike?
Nothing, Mayor, unless there's questions. I'll stick to the agenda otherwise.
Very good. I did get in trouble about a week ago. To one of your officers, I said, has everything been quiet? And I got lectured about, we don't use the word quiet. And he told me that about a dozen times.
Yeah, do not use the Q word, Mayor. That's definitely not something we utilize.
Yeah. Well, being out of the office with the virus stuff going on, and, you lose touch. Best I got. Hey, the Yankees won last night, so everything's good.
So
move on to pending business. We have no pending business. We have new business.
Very good.
Can I get a motion to receive the bids for the 2020 tree removal and trimming contract that was received Wednesday, September 30th, 2020 at 2 p.m.?
Move.
Second.
Any questions, discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
So everybody's aware it's a budgeted item and is well underneath the budget.
Okay. I had it written down, budgeted item, to say on the next line.
Oh, okay.
Nice to see you're quick, Bruce. Can I get a motion to award the bid for the 2020 tree removal and trimming contract to Timber Tree Service in the amount of $31,050?
Move.
Ruth Seco, second. Andy?
Second.
Any questions, discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. All right. Item C. Can I get a motion to adopt for use by all officers in legally disposing of valueless records listed therein, the retention schedule for New York local government records, also known as LGS-1, issued pursuant to Article 57-A of the Arts and Cultural Affairs Law, containing legal minimum retention periods for local government records. Further resolved that in accordance with Article 57A, that only those records will be disposed of that are described in LGS-1 after they have met the minimum retention periods, and only those records will be disposed of that do not have sufficient administrative, fiscal, legal, or historical value to merit retention beyond established legal minimum periods. The LGS-1 will supersede and replace the MU-1 schedule, which has been in existence since 2003. Can I get a motion?
Move.
Andy, can I get a second?
Second.
Megan? Mo, this is something that you deal with?
Yes, well, all the departments deal with it. It's a schedule that has been around since 2003 that they have revised and made some changes, but it'll tell us how many years to keep certain records. Like vouchers, for example, we keep for 6 years. It just varies. Payroll, we keep, permanently. So we made some changes. Nothing that really affects, the clerk's office anyway, but changes were made and we needed to adopt it by January 1st.
Okay. Very good. All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Now, this reminds me something that I meant to mention back when it was my turn to talk. Mo has asked us to look at the procurement policy, and not exactly the same thing, but that's usually in our annual meeting, which will be in 2 weeks. So you sent that to everybody? Everybody get the procurement policy in your email?
Yes.
I'm not sure if I sent it to the department heads, but I did send it to the trustees, even Andy, even though it gave me a thumbs down.
Keep looking. Just go through it and see if you think, the numbers make sense and and we can amend it at the next meeting when we have our annual meeting. It's just at what cost of things do we need board approval, and when can a department head just get something when it's below a certain level and that type of stuff. So if you don't have a copy, make sure you let Mo know so she can send it to you, and including department heads and everybody should have that. Okay, we got through item C. Item D. I get a motion to appoint John J. Vito Jr. as a part-time police officer at a pay rate of $20 an hour with an effective date of October 19th, 2020.
Moved.
Shep and Megan, with a motion and a second. Discussion? Questions for the chief? All comfortable? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Item E. Can I get a motion to allow the mayor to sign the revised Canton Woods agreements as amended by our attorney?
Moved.
Ruth Seco. Megan for a second. Any questions? Again, these are relatively minor changes. Some of them, as Bob said, were just in wording and a few little details, but I asked him to look out for certain things not get changed and that type of stuff, and he seemed to feel he had that under control, so pretty comfortable with just accepting the revised stuff. All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Excuse me, can I ask, did the intermunicipal agreement, was that changed also, the three-way?
Yes, it was just, yes, that was changed to some minor things in that as well.
Okay.
And I have them here. Do you want me to sign the copies I have and drop them off?
Sure.
Because last time I signed things and faxed them to Mo, except it was the wrong one that I faxed her. I had to go in the office anyways. All right, I'll check with you in the morning, Mo. So we got, did we get a vote on that? A motion in a second, we did vote, okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right, we are ready to go into executive session. Is there anything else we need to discuss before we adjourn to executive session? One thing that Greg has brought up to my attention, I think he planned on mentioning it to the Public Works Committee today, but it was a PAC meeting and you probably didn't get to it. Both our vehicles that Steve drove, the little maroon buggy and the one that Greg drives, gray or silver or whatever it is, they're in pretty bad shape. They're 15, 16 years old, 14 years old, whatever. And the one that Greg drives for codes, the floor is ready to cave in, fall apart. So we need to look at a route to get us at least one car for now. I don't mean we got to get it tomorrow, but sooner rather than later. If anybody has a great way to approach that, let's talk about it. Never had to do this since I've been mayor as far as buying a used vehicle type of thing. And in some cases before they were hand-me-down police cars, but we're not handing down police cars too much right now. So Greg needs to have a vehicle to get around the village that's not his own vehicle, and a vehicle that he doesn't have to worry about whether it'll make it back to Village Hall from across the bridge, So please keep that in mind. Anybody has any thoughts, the best way to go about whether we want to do go to an auction or whether there's a state bid on stuff like that, I'm not sure, but we need to look into it. Anything anybody else might have before we go in executive session?
Chuck, could you look into the status of your pickup trucks?
My pickup truck?
Yeah, look at the status of all of your pickup trucks in case one of those might be something. It's easier to replace his vehicles.
Okay. Yep, we can do that.
If that might provide a possible vehicle for
Yeah.
Greg to
Yeah, Greg could drive a pickup truck.
Yeah. We don't currently have any spares, but
Right.
talking spares, but if you've got one that we might be replacing in the next
Okay.
years,
yeah,
we might
okay,
be more prepared to be able to fund through you.
sure.
I
We can
want
do
to,
that.
sorry, I want to speak in riddles.
No, I understand what you're saying.
All right. All right, thank you, everybody. Can I get a motion to adjourn into executive session with no action planned?
Move.
Andy?
Second.
Ruthie, go ahead, her hand up. No. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. See you on the 15th. Good night, everybody. We're going to stay on here for our executive session, but not live. Don't sign off.